All right, let's dive into one of the oldest and, frankly, fiercest rivalries in all of sports, the Ashes. It's this epic century-spanning battle between England and Australia that's all about passion, history, and, believe it or not, a joke. And right at the very heart of this huge rivalry is, well, this tiny, fragile terracotta urn. It's barely over 10 centimeters tall. I mean, it's not some grand golden cup, but I'm telling you, it's one of the most sought-after prizes in the entire sporting world.
So, you gotta be asking yourself, why? Why on earth is this massive, globe-spanning rivalry fought over something so small? Well, to get to the bottom of that, we have to rewind the clock, way back to the very beginning.
And our story doesn't kick off with some glorious victory. Nope. It starts with a shocking, absolutely humiliating defeat, one that pretty much sent an entire nation into mourning.
Okay, so picture this. It's 1882. We're at the Oval Cricket Ground in London. Australia is touring England, and what's about to happen is going to change sporting history forever.
Now, you have to understand, this wasn't just any old game. This was Test cricket. We're talking the longest, most prestigious form of the sport. It's nation against nation, playing for days on end. National pride was completely on the line. The stakes? They couldn't have been higher.
On the one hand, you had Australia's demon bowler, a guy named Fred Spofforth, who just tore through the English batsmen. And on the other hand, you have the result of that performance, a mock obituary that actually ran in a British newspaper. I mean, talk about a dramatic reaction to losing a game of cricket.
But that obituary really captured the mood of the country, because for the very first time ever, England, the nation that literally invented cricket, had lost to Australia on their own turf. The public was stunned. The press, they were outraged.
A satirical little notice in a paper called the Sporting Times just summed it all up perfectly. It read, "In affectionate remembrance of English cricket, NB, the body will be cremated and the ashes taken to Australia." And just like that, from a single witty line in a newspaper, a legend was born. So now the ashes of English cricket were, at least symbolically, in Australia. The media, the public, they all started demanding one thing: get them back. And suddenly this simple joke turned into a very, very real quest.
And this is the man at the center of it all, the Honorable Ivo Bligh, the captain of the England team. He took that joke completely to heart and publicly promised that on his next tour to Australia, he was going to recover those ashes. The media, of course, absolutely loved it, and the story was set.
And you know what? He actually did it. Bligh led his team to victory down under, successfully regaining the ashes. After the series, as a personal gift, a group of ladies in Melbourne presented him with that tiny little urn, which was said to contain the ashes of a burnt cricket bale. And for the first time, the physical ashes were a real thing.
But here's the kicker. This is the part of the story that gets everybody. That iconic urn has never been the official trophy. Not once. It was always just a personal gift for Captain Bligh.
Yep, you heard that right. Because it was a private gift and because it's so incredibly fragile, the original urn stays put. It's permanently kept at the MCC Museum at Lord's in London. The winning teams get a replica, and these days they also get a much larger crystal trophy. But really, it's that tiny original urn that everyone is actually fighting for.
So what started out as a joke and a sweet personal gift, well, it quickly spiraled into something much, much bigger. This whole quest for the ashes forged one of the most intense and long-lasting rivalries in all of sport.
And over the decades, this rivalry has given us some unbelievable moments. You're the total dominance of Australia's legendary batsman, Sir Donald Bradman. And then you had the infamous Bodyline series of 32-33, a contest so aggressive it almost caused a diplomatic incident between the two countries.
Just look at this bodyline tactic. It shows you just how far these teams would go to win. It involved England's fastest bowlers aiming the ball right at the batsman's body. It was brutal, designed to intimidate and injure, and it really shows you the raw, sometimes vicious nature of this competition.
The English captain during that series, Douglas Jardine, he summed up the mindset perfectly. He said, "I've not traveled 6,000 miles to make friends. I'm here to win the ashes." Wow, that says it all, doesn't it?
So, after all that history, all the drama, the controversy, where does this epic rivalry actually stand today? Well, today, the series is played every 2 years, with the teams taking turns hosting. And let me tell you, the passion is just as fierce as it ever was.
The stadiums are packed, the media coverage is non-stop, and for the players, winning the Ashes can literally define their entire career.
Since that one little mock obituary started this whole thing, there have been 74 official Ashes series played. That's just decades and decades of history, generations of players, all fighting tooth and nail for one symbolic prize.
And after all that time, the rivalry is still unbelievably close. Out of those 74 series, Australia has won 35 and England's won 32, with 7 draws. It has been that evenly matched for over a century, which of course is exactly what makes it so amazing to watch.
So there you have it, a global sporting spectacle that captures the imagination of 2 entire nations, all started by a joke in a newspaper and a tiny personal gift. It's a rivalry that has been burning bright for over 140 years, and the only question left is, what's the next chapter going to be?